Some NBA fans picked Seattle SuperSonics to finish the season dead last. They were dead wrong. Then in round one, game one of the playoffs, they surrendered 151 points to the #2 team in the West, the red-hot Dallas Mavericks. Were the Sonics doomed? No way. Without the home court advantage, and for that matter, without their home court, they sent the Texans riding off into the sunset and borrowed a familiar dunk from the NFL. Then it was back to Texas to play in the shadows of the Twin Towers and last year's NBA finalists, the Houston Rockets. The Sonics boomed into the summit, winning not one, but two. Can they do it again? Can they corral another Texas team? Or can the Rockets upset the steamrolling Sonics? Houston at Seattle next.
TBS Sports presents NBA Basketball, America's game. TBS Sports coverage of the NBA is brought to you by Honda, who invite you to experience the Civic 4-door at your local Honda dealer. And by Miller Lite. For great taste, there is only one light beer. And by Quaker State Motor Oil. When car-carrying people reach for the best, they reach for Quaker State Motor Oil. And by Olympus, makers of 35mm cameras, including the OM77AF.
Live from the sold-out Seattle Coliseum, it's the upstart Seattle SuperSonics against the Houston Rockets in Game 3 in their Western Conference semifinal series. Hello, everybody. I'm Mel Proctor, along with Bill Russell. The Sonics have tried on the glass slipper, and so far it fits. They won the first two games in Houston. And, Bill, the Rockets are down 0-2. What ails them?
Well, when you start the Rockets, you always start with Ralph Sampson and Hakeem Olajuwon, the Twin Towers. They're playing pretty well. Rodney McCray is playing pretty well. Well, the Rockets are getting bigs in the backcourt. Now, Adam Neville averaged over 20 points a game against Portland, but against this team, he's only averaging 11 points and shooting about 25%. They're going to have to get better shooting and better production out of that court. They're going to be competitive.
Well, they are going absolutely wild here at the Coliseum. Sonic fever is running rampant for the first time since the championship year, 1978-79, and a major reason for it has been the play of Dale Ellis.
Dale Ellis is having the kind of year that anyone would like to have. Last year, he sat on the bench, didn't get to play very much. This year, he's a starter. Great playoff series, averaging over 30 points a game. But there's a lot more to this team than that. The X-Man is having a great series, and so is Tom Chambers. But the key has been defense. The Sonics have put a pressure defense on the Rockets, and because of the depleted backcourt, they have not been able to handle it.
All right, we've got a sellout crowd of over 14,000. The Sonics and the Rockets are ready to go. Let's go down to Charlie Neal in Atlanta.
Thank you very much, Mel. Coming up at halftime, John McLeod joins me here in the studio with playoff analysis, and he'll point out some of the key individual matchups by way of the telestrator. I'll also have highlights of tonight's other Western Conference semifinal. And the Boston Celtics have lost Bill Walton for 2 games. I'll have more on that, plus the NBA named the recipient of its 6-man award. I'll tell you who it is. All that and more coming up at halftime. Mel and Bill will have the starting lineups of tonight's contest in just a moment.
Coliseum. Here's the way the Houston Rockets will line up tonight. The Twin Towers, Ralph Sampson, Hakeem Olajuwon. Alan Level is on the spot in the backcourt. And Robert Reid has had the unenviable task of trying to contain Dale Ellis. The Rockets need to win badly. Only 4 teams in NBA history have rallied from a 2-0 deficit to win a 7-game series. And that's the task facing Bill Fitch's Rockets tonight.
And this is it's going to be a tough place to start it.
I would say the X-Man, Xavier McDaniel, Tom Chambers, both having outstanding playoff series. Dale Ellis averaging 32 points a game against Houston. The rookie Nate McMillan from North Carolina State has shown a lot of poise, and they're getting a lot of mileage out of a veteran backup center, Clement Johnson.
He's been playing outstanding. You know, when Alton Lister went down, they thought they were in deep trouble, but here are the 3 referees. Lee Jones, Jake O'Donnell, and Mike Mathis.
Seattle won the first 2 in Houston, 111 to 106 in overtime, and then Tuesday night, 99 to 97.
You know, early in the year, Seattle beat Houston by league record at home when Houston was down in Houston. So they've been beating up on these guys pretty good everywhere.
That was in the first game in December. They beat them 136-80. So the Sonics have won 6 of the last 7 games between these two teams, and the Rockets control the tip. Robert Reid and Alan Level in the backcourt. Rodney McCray against Xavier McDaniel. Sampson gets inside. Jump ball. Bernie Bickerstaff's theory against the Rockets is to make them play a half-court game, force them to use the clock, wind it down inside 10 seconds, and make them force up a bad shot.
Well, use the clock as an ally as your 6 men on defense. If you can make them take 15, 16 seconds to get started with their offense, they don't have very much time to run it.
Bernie Bickerstaff doing a marvelous job. In his second year here in Seattle, and 12 years as assistant coach of the Bullets, out of bounds off Allen Level. It's ironic that in 1978-79, as we look at Bill Fitch, when the Sonics beat the Washington Bullets for the World Championship, Bernie Bickerstaff was an assistant coach to Dick Motta for the Bullets. And now he's trying to guide the Sonics to a World Championship. Rodney McCray on the fall-away.
McCray.
And the Rockets take the lead. Nate McMillan, the rookie from North Carolina State, against Alan Level. Level's extremely quick. Putting good pressure on McDaniel. Dale Ellis, he will put up a three-pointer if given the opportunity. So will Tom Chambers. Nice fake to lose Sampson. Chambers into McDaniel. And we are tied. A steal by Xavier McDaniel over Sampson, and Ralph Sampson commits the foul.
Now what happened, Ralph looked to get the ball in play because he could see the press, and Robert Reid went down court without looking. Now, as a guard, he's got to know where that ball is. He's not maybe not the point guard, but he's one of the ball handlers. He and Rodney McCray both bring the ball up sometimes, so they got to know where the ball is, both of these guys.
The X-Man, Xavier McDaniel, in his second year from Wichita State. He did not have a particularly good game in the opener against Houston. He was 5 for 15 from the floor, but he bounced back with 22 points in game 2. And Bernie Bickerstaff says he's the backbone of our team. He's the man down in the trenches doing all the dirty work. He misses both free throws. We're tied at 2. Level into Hakeem Olajuwon. They double team him, and McMillan almost makes a steal.
And what they're trying to do is make Hakeem Olajuwon a passer. So that he has no choice, if they have anything to do with it, to make him have to pass the ball. Although he's not a bad passer, he's not the passer, the kind of passer that can make plays. He only passes to get rid of the ball.
Hakeem's averaged 27.5 points a game against the Sonics. Jump ball, and McDaniel almost had to steal, but he saw 3 men collapse on Hakeem that time.
That's the same tactic that the Warriors used on Elvin Hayes when he was playing with the Bullets when they lost. They took a guy that's a jump shooter and a good offensive player and made him a passer, making him have to be a playmaker.
Ball is out of bounds to Seattle. Level trying to work hard. He run into a vicious pick by Clement Johnson.
That's what you call ringing his bell.
Dale Ellis tries to feed inside. He probably had the shot. Chambers. Sampson doesn't buy the fake this time. Chambers scores otherwise.
Maybe should have.
4-2 Seattle. Bernie Bickerstaff says his approach with his team has been to get them to try to forget about all the publicity and not to look ahead, just to concentrate on one game at a time, focus on tonight.
I talked to some of the players today, and their attitude for this game is that we will not be beaten by a team that's not better. If you're a better team, you can beat us, but you're not going to out-hustle us or out-think us.
We're tied at 4 in the last basket by Olajuwon. Chambers for 3. Sampson tips it to Rodney McCray. A steal by Nate McMillan. Ellis backs it out. In fact, the Sonics will admit, they'll say the Rockets are a better team, but we're ahead 2-0 in the series. Three-pointer by Dale Ellis. That's his 4th three-pointer of this series. And it's 7-4 Seattle. Allen Level puts it up. Level's having shooting problems in this series, shooting only 24% from the floor.
Now, so far, the Seattle defense has made quite a few turnovers already. Although they haven't capitalized on it by scoring, they still have set the tone.
By contrast, Seattle's done a good job protecting the ball in this series. Tom Chambers rattles it in. Chambers! 9-6 Seattle. Rodney McCray on the drive, and he got fouled.
This is the way Ellis gets started.
The foul is on Chambers, his first Sonic team foul.
He's not bashful. He attempted 240 three-pointers during the season.
You got to have heart.
Robert Reid. Sampson.
Good play by Robert Reid.
That last foul, by the way, was on Tom Chambers of Seattle. It's 9-8 Sonics.
Robert Reid better get his points early because he's going to be a little tired.
Chambers is off to a good start with 6 points.
Because Robert Reid's going to be a little tired going through all those picks trying to keep up with Dale Ellis.
Sonics are really getting it after on defense. They'll use a number of different looks defensively. They'll trap and press. Level shot blocked by McMillan. Shot clock's down to 8. Bad pass. Another turnover. Here comes McMillan. McDaniel. That's a charging foul. Offensive foul on Xavier McDaniel as Level stood in and took the charge.
Offensive foul on next is first.
Yes, he was there. That's a beating to take to stop a basket. In college, that would have been 2 points, though.
7:46 remaining in the first period. Seattle leads by 3. Olajuwon against Clement Johnson. Alton Lister will probably see some action tonight. He returned in game 2 against the Rockets. McCray is short. Rebound to Sampson. Chambers clears it off to McMillan. This team is awfully quick. Ellis for 3. McMillan grabs the rebound. He gets a lot of rebounds for a guard. Chambers is wide open. The Rockets seem slow to react defensively. Oh, my!
The foul is on Rodney McCray, his first, second team foul.
The foul is on Rodney McCray, and Dale Ellis can do no wrong in Seattle.
Walking down the street, get the funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, we're the Sonics, and people used to put us all down, but we're too busy winning, we'll beat anybody around. Ellis, Beckman, and Chambers, Lucas, Lister, and Young, the Johnsons, McMillan, and Williams. We've got all the teams on the run.
Well, Sonic Fever is back. They had it going here in 1978-79 when they won an NBA championship. And for several years after that, they led the league in attendance when they're playing at the Kingdom. Then they went through some lean years. The fans began to find other things to do, but they have rallied behind this club during the playoffs.
And this club deserves the support they're getting because they're playing, not only are they playing good basketball, they're playing exciting basketball to watch.
Dale Ellis misses the free throw, but it's 13-8 Seattle. Allen Level will see a lot of different people on him tonight. Kind of the platoon treatment by the Sonics. They'll try to wear him out. He played 42 minutes in game 1 and fouled out, 48 in game 2. Ralph Sampson dumps it inside to McCray, but look at the defense by McMillan. Great help.
The Sonics are using about 6 or 7 defensive looks, and they continually change them so that the Rockets really can establish a rhythm.
Robert Reid on the miss. McMillan's pass picked off by Allen Level. Olajuwon. No one there to rebound. 3 Sonics there. Midway through the first quarter, Seattle leads 13-8. Those are not boos you were hearing. They were chanting Luke as Maurice Lucas checks in at the scorer's table.
Traveling by Ellis. Good call.
Traveling.
Here comes the enforcer. He and Ralph Sampson have exchanged angry words during this series. Although Lucas will now be guarding Hakeem Olajuwon, and Luke immediately puts the body on him. Some hammering going on down low. Olajuwon, out of contact, no call. Lucas winds up on his backside.
And I think the referees is not going to give him that call because he knows that he bumped Olajuwon about 3 or 4 times before that.
Ellis trying to work the ball to McDaniel against Rodney McCray. Sonics are shooting extremely well in the early going. They lead 15-10. McDaniel's hit both of his shots. Tom Chambers is fronting Sampson. Now they get it into Ralph.
Sampson.
4 points for Sampson.
When Ralph Sampson takes that shot, he's a great player. When he takes the other stuff, he's just a good player.
Sometimes he acts like he's an off guard out there pumping up 20-footers.
Well, most big guys are frustrated guards anyway.
Sampson elbows above the rim, takes it down.
That was one of those rebounds where only 10% of the rebounds are taken above the rim. That was one of them.
A double team Olajuwon. He scores anyway. 1 point for Hakeem.
It seems as though Hakeem plays a little better when he's getting beat up. It gives him a little incentive.
Some players don't like it. Some respond well to it, and Olajuwon is one of those. Level is called for the reach-in foul on Maurice Lucas.
The foul is on Level.
Danny Young checks into the game, replacing Nate McMillan. He's one of the 3 or 4 guards that Allen Level will see on him tonight. Of course, the Rockets lost 2 key performers, Mitchell Wiggins and Lewis Lloyd, who were banished from the league for drug involvement earlier this year. That really thinned out their backcourt. Here comes Level. Jump ball. Great play by Danny Young to tie up Allen Level.
I don't think Allen Level thinks it's a very good play. Let's see. He's got his hand on the ball. And his body on him.
So Level and Danny Young will jump it off. Level was cut by the Rockets. Early in this season, they kept a fellow by the name of Connor Henry instead of him, and then they lost the 2 guards because of the drug problems and had to re-sign him after he'd been placed on waivers.
You think about that, the fact that they put him on waivers, he's out of the league. In the first 2 games, he played 43 and 48 minutes.
The Rockets have taken the lead on Ralph Sampson's basket. Ellis with a quick release. Rebound to Olajuwon, who is 8th in the league in rebounding.
And number 1 in the league in hustle.
Sampson working for his shots tonight. He scores. That counts. And a foul. Ralph off to a fast start with 8 points.
The basket is good.
And the reason he's so effective, he's not taking that 17, 18-foot jumper, but staying inside the paint.
The Rockets have scored 8 straight points, and they've taken an 18-15 lead with just over 4 minutes left in the first quarter.
Now here's a good look at that play where Olajuwon gives a good shoulder to Lucas, and Lucas falls back. And that wasn't all acting. Olajuwon is really strong. But Lucas, before the play, we picked it up, Lucas had gave him about 4 or 5 real good bumps that they hadn't called.
He's got his game face on, doesn't he?
Oh, yes.
Ralph Sampson is the free throw line. The Twin Towers are off to fast starts tonight. Sampson has 8 points. Olajuwon with 6. Ralph averaging 19.5 points a game in this series. Converts to 3-point play. That's the first Rocket free throw of the game. And Houston leads by 4. Just over 4 minutes remaining in the first period. This is the first playoff game this year the Sonics have played in this building. They were forced to play 2 games at Heck Edmondson Pavilion on the campus of the University of Washington because
it didn't seem to hurt them very much.
No. In fact, I wonder if they lost the home court advantage moving back here.
Well, this place is just as noisy as the
McCray.
Heck Edmondson.
Sampson.
I know I'd get it out.
Sampson.
11 points for Ralph Sampson, and Houston opens up a 6-point lead. Danny Young, McDaniel was open. The Rockets beginning to get on the boards now. Olajuwon and Sampson controlling the rebounding. Houston has scored 11 straight points, and here comes Level, blocked by Alton Lister, who just checked in. McDaniel leading a 3-on-1 against Robert Reid. Reid breaks up the play. Ellis scores. 21-17, Houston. We're near the end of the first quarter, 3 minutes remaining. McCray driving off Sampson's screen, and the finger roll is short. Lister clears it out to Danny Young. Lead pass to McDaniel. Had a bad angle, couldn't get off a shot. They turn it over, and Reid is
Backcourt foul on Maurice Lucas.
The foul is on Lucas. His first.
Charged with his first foul.
Third team foul.
Team foul number 3. What does Lucas give this young Sonic team, Bill?
Oh,
Kevin Williams joins the SuperSonic lineup.
And on the bench, he gives them a lot of help. He counsels them, he keeps them playing.
Olajuwon.
He's a great help to Bernie Bickerstaff.
Meanwhile, Hakeem Olajuwon scores again. The Twin Towers have combined for 19 of Houston's 23 points, and they lead by 6. Kevin Williams in the game now at guard for the Sonics. Olajuwon with a rejection. Sampson saves it.
Good hustle all the way around. I thought poor Allen Neville got run over pretty good by Lucas on that drive.
Sampson. Tough shot. Olajuwon scores again, and both Twin Towers are in double figures in the first quarter. And a 20-second timeout is taken by the Seattle SuperSonics. Bill Fitch, who led the Boston Celtics to an NBA championship in 1981. Now in his 17th year as an NBA coach. Here's what the respective benches have done so far. The Sonics bench has been far more productive than Houston so far.
Well, that's one of the reasons for that is what the coach expects from his bench and how they play. Sometimes, for example, you put a guy in that will fill in for like Maurice Lucas. You won't expect very many points out of him, but he does a good job. He'll do a good job of setting screens and et cetera, et cetera.
Robert Reid fouls Danny Young.
The foul is on Robert Reid. His first in the last 2 minutes.
Kevin Williams is in the game now at guard. Of course, he and Dale Ellis were involved in an altercation in a Houston nightclub following the game Tuesday in Houston. Both were arrested. Bernie Bickerstaff had to go get them out of jail, but he said that the incident has not been a distraction for his team. They've handled it well. McDaniel scores and a foul.
You know, that's the most unusual shot that McDaniel's shooting there. There are not that many guys that turn that way in the pick of the shot. Now, you watch the way he turns clockwise. And for a right-handed shooter, usually they turn counterclockwise.
Foul is on Rodney McCray. The Sonics had 3 players who averaged more than 20 points a game this year: McDaniel, Ellis, and Chambers. Robert Reid puts it up. Olajuwon going to the boards hard. Lister trying to tie him up and commits a foul. Lister back in action. He missed the last 7 games of the regular season with a broken bone in his foot. He played 16 minutes in game 2 of this series. But he's an outstanding shot blocker. Broke the club record for blocked shots this year and was also the leading rebounder.
Well, he's the kind of center you need when you have 3 guys averaging over 20 points a game. A guy that doesn't require a lot of shots, because if he requires a lot of shots, he's going to go hungry. Starved to death. Yes. Here comes Maxwell and Chaney.
Russ Chaney, number 40, and Cedric Maxwell, who played on a couple of World Championship teams in Boston.
In fact, he was the MVP at one of the championship series.
Olajuwon with 12 first quarter points. Sampson has 11, and the Rockets lead by 8, 27-19. Minute 20 remaining in the first period. Danny Young and Kevin Williams are now in the backcourt for the Sonics, with Lucas, Lister, and Chaney up front. Chaney on the drive. Lucas. Sampson takes it down. Sonics want to slow the Rockets down, make them play half court. The Rockets, of course, want to get it out on the break. Sampson sets up on the low post. Shot clock's down to 6 seconds. Olajuwon. 1 on the shot clock. Level with a prayer, nearly answered. And a new 24-second count now. 30 seconds remaining in the first period. Lister and Olajuwon are hammering each other.
You know, they let those Bohemians go at each other for about 20 seconds, and they say, okay, that's enough. And if you're the guys hitting when the referee decides it's enough, now let's take a look at these guys go at each other. Well, that's the first one, the second one. Bump, push, bump, push. And the referee says, okay, enough. And if you're the one that's pushed at that time, that's who the foul's on.
That's how it works, huh? Hakeem with 12 first quarter points, and now 13. The foul was on Lister, and that's his second. Dale Ellis is back in the game for the Sonics.
Ellis replaces Lucas for the Sonics.
Now, Bickerstaff makes great use of his bench because he plays a lot of guys. Because they should get tired because of the way they're playing defense.
Olajuwon 3 for 3 at the line. He has 14 points now in the first period. But he's headed for a big night.
It's serious. Some coaches usually take a guy after 5 minutes because if he's playing the way he should be playing, he should be tired. If he's not, then he's not playing well enough to stay out there anyway.
Rockets lead by 10. Ellis gets inside of Maxwell, and Maxwell fouls it. Ellis works well without the ball, doesn't he, Bill?
Yeah, you see, he's up by himself temporarily. And the defensive man's a step behind. That's because he's used those picks so well. And using the picks is not timing. I mean, not speed, but timing. So that you come out of the pick just as the pass is ready to unload it. And all you have is one step, and that's all you need.
Nate McMillan's back in the game for the Sonics. Seattle is 0 for 5 from the free throw line in this first quarter.
Strange rims. They haven't played in game here so long, they don't remember the rims.
They played 2 in Dallas, 2 at Heck Edmondson Pavilion on the campus of the University of Washington, and the first 2 games in this series in Houston. So it's been a long time since they played a game here. Finally, they make a free throw.
And here's a full court press. Let's see how Houston handles it.
12 seconds left in the quarter. Level really having to work to bring the ball up the floor. 5 seconds left. Robert Reid. And that will bring the first quarter to an end. So the Sonics spurted out to an early lead, but then Houston came back, scoring 11 straight points. And at the end of the first period, the Rockets have a 9-point lead. Mel Proctor with Bill Russell back at the Seattle Coliseum, where the Houston Rockets lead 29-20. Tomorrow night, Atlanta and Detroit meet again here on WTVS, 7:35 Eastern. 2 very even teams. Bernie Bickerstaff. His team down by 9 at the end of the first period. You know, we talk about how he was an assistant coach of the Bullets in 77-78 when they won a world championship. And it was the same kind of situation. The Bullets didn't finish very high in the regular season standings. Began to build some momentum late in the regular season. It carried over into the playoffs where they really got hot. And Bernie said the same kind of thing is happening with the Sonics.
Yes, they finished under 500 for the season. And Dallas had the 4th best record in the league.
Dale Ellis misses. Jim Petersen had just checked in for the Rockets with a lead pass to Maxwell. Maxwell feeds Sampson. Ralph Sampson with 13 points. Hakeem Olajuwon has 14. So the Twin Towers, Bill, have accounted for 27 of Houston's 31 points.
Well, they had 2 pretty good games the first 2 games, although the Rockets lost the games.
11-point lead for Houston. Kevin Williams connects from the corner. He's been playing very well, averaging nearly 8 points a game in this series. 31-22 Houston. Petersen, another in a long line of bangers on the University of Minnesota. They double-team Sampson. Reid with a 3-pointer. He has not hit one in this series. Nate McMillan leads the break. Dale Ellis passes up the open jumper and backs it out. 10:40 remaining second quarter.
Maybe they want to stretch the Houston Rocket defense and see if they can come up with something better.
Shot clock down to 3 seconds. They're going to have to force up a shot. Kevin Williams just gets it away. In fact, he did not get it away in time. It doesn't count. It's a 24-second violation. No basket.
The referee Mac Madden was right on that because from where he was standing, he could see the shot and the clock at the same time.
So it's still 31-22 Houston. 10:29 remaining in the second quarter. McCray quite often handles the ball, helps work against pressing defenses. An excellent ball handler and a fine passer.
He's playing what they call now a point forward.
Sampson backs in, and the charging foul is called on Ralph Sampson. That's his second foul.
Offensive foul on Ralph Sampson. His second. And John Thompson, please come to the scorer's table. John Thompson to the scorer's table.
Nate McMillan off the screen by Chambers. And he's got a reach-in foul on Sampson. That'll be his third.
The foul is on Sampson. His third.
Well, Ralph Sampson's in foul trouble. He comes out of the game, and Hakeem Olajuwon is back in for him.
That was a real quick one. Goes from no problem to a serious problem in about 8 seconds.
Chambers against Hakeem Olajuwon. Chambers a good outside shooter for a big man. Nate McMillan with a rebound, blocked by Olajuwon. McCray with a lead pass to Reid, broken up by Xavier McDaniel.
That's good hustle getting back on defense. Outstanding play by X-Man getting back.
Nate McMillan may have turned his ankle. He's limping.
Now here's a good block by Olajuwon, and the fast break starts.
Eddie Johnson replaces McMillan for Seattle.
Eddie Johnson comes in.
Eddie Johnson's played extremely well in this playoff series. Reid dumps it inside to Olajuwon, who throws it down, and he has 16 points. 33-22, Houston. Eddie Johnson had a lot of playoff experience with the Atlanta Hawks. Also played with Cleveland. Rescued from the CBA by the Sonics. Maxwell runs it up. And draws the foul. Eddie Johnson is charged with the foul.
Now, Cedric didn't exactly remind us of Magic Johnson that play.
First team foul.
But he's at the foul line.
Maxwell at the line.
Reminder that the conclusion of tonight's game, Bill and I will be selecting the Miller Lite player of the game. Alton Lister returns for the Sonics.
Lister replaces
He was acquired from the Milwaukee Bucks in a trade that sent Jack Sikma to the Bucks. Different type of center. Sikma, a post-up center, a big scorer. Lister is not a scorer, a shot blocker, and a rebounder, and he fits in with the Seattle team.
Especially if you got three guys getting over 20 points a game.
9 minutes remaining in the first half. A 13-point lead for the Rockets, their biggest lead. Blocking foul is called on Cedric Maxwell.
The foul is on Maxwell, his second team foul.
Eddie Johnson penetrates, throws it back out to McDaniel. Sonic's shot selection is not very good right now, Bill.
It's the same one they use all the time. They're just not falling.
It's like they're taking him a little further out. Got a kick, so a new 24-second count. The ball was kicked.
New 24-second clock.
Well, those three guys, like McDaniel, Chambers, and Ellis, pretty much have green light to shoot whenever they feel like they're within their range. And for a couple of them, that's in the building.
Cross half court and let it fly, huh?
Why go across half court?
Ellis can really stretch the defense with his ability to shoot three-pointers. Chambers, a little out of control, turns it over. 13-point lead for the Rockets. Robert Reid hikes the lead to 15.
Timeout, I think Bernie wants.
Reid scores his first basket of the game, and the Rockets have opened up a 37-22 lead with 8:14 remaining in the first half.
Up at halftime, John McCloud joins me here in the studio with his continued analysis of the playoff matchups. The Lakers and Golden State are playing in Game 2 of their best-of-7 series. I'll have highlights of that contest. Bill Walton will be lost to the Celtics for at least 2 games because of an injury. We'll have more on that. The NBA announced the winner of its 6-man award, and I'll have a trivia quiz. All that and more at halftime. Now let's go back to Seattle to Mel and Bill.
We have 8:14 remaining in the second quarter here at the sold-out Seattle Coliseum, and the Houston Rockets have their biggest lead, 15 points. And Bill, the Sonics have had a lot of trouble getting into their offense and getting off shots. It seems frequently the clock is wound down on them.
Well, they're averaging 19 seconds before they get the shots off. This time they're going to be a little different.
McMillan on the miss. Lister scores on the follow. That's Alton Lister's first basket. The Rockets went to a bigger lineup. We've got Reid, who's a converted forward, still in the backcourt, along with McCray, who's helped bringing the ball up the floor. Is their size hurting Seattle?
Well, it should give them the edge and quickness.
Robert Reid. Olajuwon with a spectacular tip in, and he has 18 points.
Now that size will hurt anybody.
The lead is back to 15. Hakeem Olajuwon, who just started playing basketball in 1978. It's a good thing he didn't start earlier. That's scary to think about, isn't it? Olajuwon is fronting out to Lister, a 3-second violation.
And what they're doing, they have Maxwell on Ellis. And because I think in college, Ellis played a lot of center.
Ellis played all 3 positions in college. And defensively, he guarded everyone from Jeff Malone, who's now with the Washington Bullets, to Ralph Sampson, when Sampson played at Virginia. 7 minutes left in the first half. Olajuwon very active tonight. He's got 20 points.
Good pick, back pick that Petersen put in. Olajuwon got that shot really wide open.
This is the Rockets' biggest lead, 17 points. Ellis, 3-pointer. McDaniel with a rebound. And it's out of bounds to Seattle. Maurice Lucas heads back into the game for the Sonics.
Now that time, Xavier McDaniel turned counterclockwise on that shot, and he missed it. I wonder if that makes any difference.
Maybe he can only go clockwise. Seattle's turned the ball over 4 times in this quarter.
Took steps in, he got away with it.
McDaniel. Rebound to Robert Reid, who at 6'8", gets a lot of rebounds for a guard. Olajuwon sets up low, really looking for his shots. Petersen with the offensive rebound.
And so what Fitch has done is gone to, he has a huge lineup. The shortest guy out there for the Rockets is 6'7".
The guards are 6'7" and 6'8". 19-point lead for Houston. Seattle scored only 4 points in this quarter, Bill.
Got to be on Olajuwon.
Hakeem is charged with his first foul.
The foul is on Olajuwon, his first.
We see that Bill Fitch has gone with this big lineup against a quick team. What's he attempting to accomplish? Obviously, he's working, but what was his intent going with the big lineup?
Well, if you can...
Ellis on the miss.
The guys that score for the Sonics are not exceptionally quick, except for maybe McDaniels. And the other 2 guys shoot over everybody. So you put big guys out there,
Petersen.
And then that creates problems for them on the other end, defensively.
Jim Petersen scores to put the Houston Rockets up by 21 points with 5:33 remaining in the second quarter.
America's game. It's fantastic.
Game 4 in the series between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors Sunday here on TBS, beginning at 6 o'clock Eastern. And in Game 2 of that series tonight in Los Angeles, Golden State has an early lead.
They had the halftime lead the first game, and the whole world came in and fell on them.
The Lakers hit him with a 49-point third quarter, an NBA record for a playoff game for most points scored in the third quarter.
No, in watching that quarter, I thought that the Laker defense was better than the offense, although they did get 49 points.
Michael Cooper came in and hit 3 straight three-pointers. James Worthy went wild in the quarter. And here in Seattle, the Rockets have outscored the Sonics 16-4 in the second quarter, and Lucas is pounded as he goes inside. I think the foul is on Maxwell. Yeah.
The foul is on Maxwell, his third.
That's 3 on Cedric Maxwell.
Foul.
And the 14th foul.
Luke at the line for the Sonics. Shooting 2.
Well, Houston started slow, but they've taken over control of the game. And they're playing the way they want to play it, although that last foul was on Maxwell. He thought he was there.
Of course, one thing that Bill Fitch is accomplishing by going to this big lineup is that he's preventing the SuperSonics from wearing out Allen Level as they did in the first 2 games, from putting 3 different men on him.
And plus, they're doing a better job on the boards. And Seattle has had an atrocious night at free throw line.
A 20-point lead for the Houston Rockets. Robert Reid on the run. Rebound to Chambers. The outlet pass to Danny Young. McDaniel. They try to pick up the tempo. They want to get it back into a running game where they can use their quickness against this bigger, slower team. 18-point lead, and Houston's going to call a timeout. Well, Bill Fitch wants to talk things over with 4.5 remaining in the first half here in Seattle. Championship team in 78-79, and this year's starting 5, John Johnson, Lonnie Shelton, are both retired. Dennis Johnson, of course, now with the Celtics. Gus Williams played this year with Atlanta. Jack Sikma is in Milwaukee. But, Bill, when you compare these 2 teams, how do they stack up?
I think that the team in 78-79 may be a smarter team. Because Silas and Dennis and John Johnson were real students of basketball. Now, I look at Dennis Johnson, and I say he's been on a lot of good teams.
There's another player who's not on that graphic we should mention, downtown Freddie Brown, who was a big part of that team.
Yes, he's firing from out of the locker room, too.
The Sonics trying to come back. They're down by 18.
Looks like Bernie has made his counter move, and this is all matchups.
Rodney McCray connects for Houston. That's his second basket. Seattle now has Xavier McDaniel, Maurice Lucas, Tom Chambers, Danny Young, and Dale Ellis in the game. Just over 4 minutes remaining in the first half. The lob to Chambers.
Perfect trick set by Dale Ellis, and he didn't move it, which is always tempted to move a pick on the weak side.
And the assist to Danny Young. Shot clock down to 8 seconds. Petersen double team. Shot clock's down to 3. Reid will have to put it up. And does.
Robert Reid.
4 points for Robert Reid. His lead is back to 20. 49-29 Houston. Danny Young out of Wake Forest. Off a screen by Chambers. Ellis trying to lose McCray on a Maurice Lucas pick. Shot clock's winding down on the Sonics. And it's knocked out of bounds by Jim Petersen of Houston.
The Rockets are doing a good job of not letting the Sonics get any easy shots, and they're having to put up a lot of 20-footers. And that's got to hurt you in the end. in the beginning, too.
3 minutes remaining in the first half here in Seattle. They're really having trouble penetrating against his defense. Chambers throws it back out to Young. The shot clock's winding down again. Danny Young with his first basket, and it's 49-31 Houston. Become a half-court game now. Not much running by either team.
And that's actually what Seattle wanted to do in the beginning. I don't think they want to do with this lineup.
Hakeem Olajuwon with 22 first-half points. He scored nearly half the point total for the Rockets. He's hit 9 of 11 shots. Young penetrates. Chambers pumps it home. Chambers has 10 points, and it's 51-33 Houston. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the half. Reid from long range. Petersen with a rebound. He's played well off the bench tonight with 6 points. He moved into the starting lineup late in the regular season. Gives him some extra muscle. Good rebounder. Rockets lead by 20. Ellis called for the charging foul. That's his first foul.
Let's take a look at Ellis is getting a lot of attention tonight. And there's the call there. Robert Reid was retreating.
Alton Lister is back in the game for Seattle, replacing Chambers. It appears that they're playing belly-to-belly defense on Ellis, taking away his outside shot, Bill, and forcing him to put the ball on the floor.
And it's working so far because he's not getting it out.
McCray is hammered. Down he goes. Foul is on Xavier McDaniel.
The foul is on McDaniel, his second. First in the last 2 minutes.
Coming up at halftime, the Prudential Sports Update with Charlie Neal. Clement Johnson reports back in for the Sonics, replacing Lucas.
Johnson replaces Lucas.
I think that you'll see Clement Johnson will do a better job for him on the rebounds and helping block shots and closing down the middle. Because this is a big lineup the Rockets have in there, and they can be really mean on the boards.
Rodney McCray from Mount Vernon, New York, a hotbed of basketball. It's produced he and his brother Scooter, Gus and Ray Williams, Earl Tatum, Lowe's Moore, who played in the NBA, and a pretty fair baseball player by the name of Ken Singleton, who was also a fine basketball player.
McCray always tells me, he says, University of Louisville, 2-time NCAA champions. Every time I see him, he tells me that.
Rockets lead by 21 points. McDaniel posting up on McCray, who got a piece of the shot. We approach the 1 minute mark. Houston took control in the first period and has opened up a big lead. Seattle scored only 13 points in the second quarter. Reid off the head fake, out the level for the 20-footer.
Now he's shooting better. He's not working so hard.
56-33. Houston by 23. This is their biggest lead.
The Seattle offense is what's really the 56 points is not so is bad, but not so bad as their lack of scoring with 33 points.
Sonics can't get the shots they want. McDaniel travels.
This is a pretty good. The offense is out of sync, but it's caused by the good Houston defense, especially with these tall guys who, when they are in your face on a shot, they're in your face on a shot.
Seattle has committed 9 turnovers tonight in the first game, and overtime game in Houston, they committed 8 the entire game. So they're really having problems with turnovers. Olajuwon, oh, great spin move, but he's called for traveling.
And he thinks he got pushed.
19 seconds remaining in the first half.
Although they're way behind, the Sonics should wait and make sure they get the last shot off.
Dale Ellis on the fall away. Olajuwon controlling the boards. The Rockets have dominated the first half. At the half, here in Seattle, it's the Houston Rockets 56, the Sonics 33. Remember, Charlie Neal will be coming up in a moment with a credential update.
The second half of the exciting game between Golden State and Seattle. We'll make that Houston and Seattle.
Welcome back to Seattle. It's halftime here. The Houston Rockets have a comfortable 23-point lead. They held Seattle to only 33 points. That's the lowest scoring half in the Sonics playoff history. Oddly enough, the previous low was 34 points against Houston in 1982. But what are the Rockets doing defensively to foul up the Sonics half-court offense?
Well, what they have is a large lineup, but with Rodney McCray and Robert Reid, that's a very mobile lineup with the smallest guy being 6'7" or 6'8". And when you got these guys this big with their hands in your face, it's very difficult to get a shot off. Plus, the Sonics came out with the idea of making the Rockets play a half-court game. Now, what the Rockets have done is take advantage of the fact that they're playing a half-court game by putting in what I guess you call the mega towers.
The 5 big guys. Speaking of the Twin Towers, both Hakeem Olajuwon with 22 first-half points and Ralph Sampson with 13 are playing extremely well.
Well, Ralph Sampson got the team off to a good start by getting like half of the points the first few minutes before he got the 2 quick fouls and got in foul trouble. But you know that 33 points, Michael Jordan gets that many by himself in a half.
And Hakeem Olajuwon had 22 first-half points. He had 9 of 11 shots.
And a monster dunk.
When you came into the league, was there any center like Hakeem Olajuwon in terms of the things he does?
No. And there haven't been very many since either. I guess you get guys like Willis Reid, who was a mobile, big, strong guy. But there are not very many guys that Olajuwon is one of a kind.
Well, if Seattle's going to rally in the second half, they're going to have to get a big performance from Dale Ellis, who hit just 2 of 10 shots. But let's look back at Dale Ellis, who is an emerging superstar. Great collegiate career at the University of Tennessee, where he was a 3-time all-conference selection and was twice named All-American. He led the Volunteers into the NCAA tournament 3 years, and he had to go up against Ralph Sampson and guard him 1 year in the NCAA tourney. Sampson scoring on him. 3 frustrating years in Dallas, where he sat on the bench. Then he was traded for Al Wood in July of '86, and he has exploded in Seattle, led the team in scoring, and he's gone wild in the playoffs, averaging better than 30 points a game. But he had a rough first half with only 8 points, 2 for 10 from the floor, and 3 turnovers. Meanwhile, the Twin Towers have combined for 35 points and 10 rebounds.
Well, they've played well the whole series. I think Ralph Sampson got those 2 fouls in 8 seconds. Has to look at the Sonics only shooting 36%. And that's a combination of bad shot selection and pretty good defense.
Sonics ball as we open the second half. Nate McMillan in the backcourt along with Dale Ellis, Xavier McDaniel, Clement Johnson, and Tom Chambers up front. Chambers on the miss, follows his miss, and it's tipped in by McDaniel. 10 points for Xavier McDaniel. And I would think it's very important for the Sonics to get off to a fast start.
Well, they have to tighten up their defense, which they didn't play that bad, but they're going to have to move the ball a little better offensively.
Olajuwon feeds Sampson.
Now, that's one of the things that you can't do. When you double team, you can't let the guy that's the first pass away get the shot. They got to make him have to pass at least twice.
Level gambles. Chambers is open. 12 points for Tom Chambers, who during the regular season averaged 28 points a game against Houston. He had 42 points in 1 game. Out of bounds off Olajuwon. Hakeem does not agree with the call by Mike Mathis. He and Jake O'Donnell are the officials tonight. Lee Jones is the alternate. Chambers gets Sampson off his feet, switches hands and scores. Sonics have opened the second half quickly, but they're still down by 19 points. Good pressure by McDaniel on McCray. Robert Reid. Rebound to McDaniel. They're trying to get back in a running game. Nate McMillan. Ellis. They can be explosive. The Sonics are off to a fast start, and Bill Fitch wants a timeout. Last 4 shots, and the Sonics have outscored Houston 8-2 to open this third quarter. They cut the lead from 23 to 17. Robert Reid around Ellis. Good help defensively. Olajuwon scores. 24 points for Hakeem.
Good penetration by Robert Reid. And he was real determined on that play because Dale Ellis shut him off a couple of times.
Nate McMillan hanging in the air.
Super move. Super move.
That's the rookie's first basket. Now the Sonics trying to turn it up defensively as they go to a full court press. 60 to 43. Houston. 9.5 remaining third quarter. Out of bounds to Houston. Alton Lister checks in for the Sonics, replacing Clement Johnson.
Lister replaces Johnson for the SuperSonics.
Listen, I hit that body control between two guys.
Only 9 seconds on the shot clock for the Rockets. Olajuwon with a floater.
Now that's, I don't know how you would guard that shot.
Hakeem has 26 points. 19-point lead for the Houston Rockets, who badly need a win. Olajuwon's at 11 of 13 shots tonight, including his last 5. Chambers off glass. He's come to life in this third quarter with 6 points. Hit his last 5 shots.
Good pass back. Hakeem.
Rodney McCray scores.
And that was a pass to make a play, not just to get rid of the ball, which he's learning to do more effectively as each year goes by.
3-pointer by Chambers. He hurried the shot, missed everything. Alan Lovell still among the quickest players in the league, although he's in his 8th year in the NBA. He was even quicker when he was a little younger. Double team on Sampson. Robert Reid.
Good play by McCray. That was a tough shot that Reid came up with.
20-second timeout taken by the Sonics.
20-second timeout, SuperSonics.
Now here's the old give and go. Pass, keep going, ends up with his layup. Good play by McCray. 8 fakes, got fouled, but what the heck.
A reminder that this program is authorized under rights granted by the NBA solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the NBA is prohibited. Bernie Bickerstaff, one of his strengths is his ability to relate to people. He served under 3 different head coaches in Washington, under Casey Jones, who brought him into the league, under Dick Motta, and then under Gene Shue. Ball is out of bounds off one of the Rockets. Jake O'Donnell fouling off a wet spot on the basketball. 8:09 remaining third quarter. The Rockets lead by 21 points. They've shut off Dale Ellis outside game for the most part tonight. See Reid chasing him around outside the 3-point line.
Well, he's not moving as well without the ball as he's done in the previous game. He seems to be off his feet over there.
McDaniel just inside the 3-point line. That counts 2. McDaniel says, what about 3? That is put over the line, and it's 66-47 Houston. Olajuwon faces Lister. Good block out by Tom Chambers on Sampson. Lister was open underneath, but they didn't see him. Ellis wants to shoot a 3-pointer. Shot clock down to 6 seconds. Lister blocked by Olajuwon. Time's going to run out on Seattle after 24-second violation.
And Bernie's up in the score table saying the ball hit the board.
don't think it hit anything except Olajuwon's hand. Danny Young is in the game now at guard, replacing McMillan.
The Sonics are taking too much time to get into their offense. And I don't know if this is adverse reaction to the Houston defense. Reid out of sync. He's not out of sync.
Robert Reid.
After a slow start, he's heating up. Robert Reid has 10 points, and the lead is back to 21 for Houston, midway through the third quarter. Ellis trying to lose his man on a baseline screen, but Robert Reid's doing a good job on him tonight. Sampson yanks it down. Reid was talking earlier about having to chase Ellis around on the first two games and taken away from his offensive game because he was getting tired running into all those screens.
Ellis is not moving that well without the ball tonight.
Reid saves it. Or did he? No. He got pushed by Ellis. Dale Ellis picks up his second foul.
The foul is on Ellis. His second.
Robert Reid with 10 points tonight has become the Rockets' second all-time playoff leading scorer. Moses Malone leads the Rockets in playoff competition with over 1,000 points. McCray on the fall-away.
That's a tough shot.
Chambers filling the lane. Ball stripped away, and we may have
That'll be
a
on
foul.
Sampson, his fourth foul.
Yep. Number 4 on Big
The
Ralph.
foul is on Sampson. His fourth. First team foul.
Well, the last time Sampson got a quick foul and got out of there, that's when the Rockets really piled up the points. Although he did an excellent job of getting the Rockets off to a good start.
Ralph only played 14 minutes the first half because of foul problems. Tom Chambers, one of 3 Sonics who averaged better than 20 points a game. The last team to accomplish that feat was the 1983 Philadelphia 76ers. Moses Malone, Andrew Toney, and Julius Erving all scored 20 or more on an average.
The first team that I can remember doing that was the St. Louis Hawks with Bob Pettit, Clyde Lovellette, and Cliff Hagan. And then, now we're going back a long, you were a little kid then. No, just a
Very
little
little.
kid. Very little. Still are little, but not a kid.
Thank you very much. Kevin Williams in the game now, replacing a struggling Dale Ellis for Seattle. Level feeds Petersen. Lister clears it out to Danny Young. Chambers behind the back and Levels there to grab it.
Not the best pass.
Olajuwon.
Good pass by Robert Reid.
Olajuwon.
28 points for Hakeem Olajuwon. He had 28 in the first game, 27 in the second, and 28 so far tonight. Hit his last 6 shots. Williams way out of control. Sonics give it up. Ernie Bickerstaff says, what about a foul?
No, he said, what are you doing, player? So that's when you're out of control and you're throwing up something hoping for a foul.
You can't really look for fouls in the playoffs and let them play for the most part. They don't call games as tightly as in the regular season. Reid off the head fake. Petersen with the offensive rebound. He's done a good job tonight.
Petersen.
And the Sonics will call a timeout as the Houston Rockets have held off every Seattle rally so far, and with 5:11 remaining in the third quarter, Houston leads by 23.
The NBA playoff record for most field goals made without a miss in one game.
Play that Brendan Bickerstaff was contesting. Now, Lister takes a shot, and Olajuwon blocks it. It hits the board. That means you should get a reset on the 24-second clock. But Mike Mathis, from his vantage point, it did not look like it hit the board. And that can be easily done from certain angles, that you can miss that.
Houston leads by...
And then, besides that, in this game, the difference in the two teams, that doesn't make a lot of difference.
Hasn't really been close. Eddie Johnson's in the game now for the Sonics. Maurice Lucas is also in, as Bernie Bickerstaff has gone to his bench, with the exception of McDaniel and Clement Johnson, who started the game. Again, the shot clock winding down on the Sonics. 3 seconds left. McDaniel puts it up. It's out of bounds to Houston. 4:46 remaining in the third quarter. A 23-point lead for the Houston Rockets. This matches their biggest lead.
You know, what the Houston Rockets did. They put their big lineup, they got the lead, and now all they want to do is play even. See, you can win a game by you hit one stretch where you outplay the other team, and then the rest of the game you can play even.
Eddie Johnson with a lead pass to Kevin Williams.
That may be the reason he didn't go back to the big lineup is the reason I say that.
Sonics opened quickly, outscoring Houston 8-2 to open the second half. When the Rockets regrouped, Williams scores from the outside. 21-point lead for the Houston Rockets. Hakeem Olajuwon has 28 tonight. His career playoff high is 40. Jim Petersen rattles in a shot. He has 10 points off the bench tonight.
And before this game, their Houston bench had not been given much output.
Clement Johnson, who doesn't take many shots, scores his first basket of the game. 74-53 Houston, 3.5 remaining in the third period.
I just saw something very interesting. McDaniel, this is the second year, they're going down court, and he was holding McCray's trunks. He's holding his trunks to keep him from running. That's the stuff you expect from a wily old veteran, not a second-year man.
Kevin Williams is charged with a foul. That's his first and second team foul. Hakeem Olajuwon steps to the free throw line. As we mentioned earlier, Kevin Williams and Dale Ellis were both involved in an incident at the Ocean Club. Earlier this week, apparently Williams got into an altercation. Ellis tried to help him out of it, and they both end up in the Hooskow.
I see the sign that says, if you can't beat him, jail him.
Olajuwon makes it 75-53. Houston just over 3 minutes remaining in the third period. Ellis is back in there, trying to get it going.
That's not on those rebounds above the rim.
He's such a quick jumper, Hakeem Olajuwon.
He is, real quick.
He runs the court very well. He was a soccer player growing up in Nigeria. He was calling for the ball. Ellis with the rebound. Olajuwon hasn't missed many shots tonight. 2:40 remaining in the third quarter. The Rockets lead by 22. Ellis squares up for the jumper. He has only 12 points tonight after scoring 34 and 30 in the first two games against Houston. 20-point lead. Olajuwon working hard for position. Kevin Williams with a rebound. A 3-on-2 break. Ellis loses it. Here comes Rodney McCray. Two minutes remaining in the third period.
2 minutes.
Reid for three. Petersen with a rebound. And a new 24-second count to work with. Bill Pitts calling out a play. Petersen puts his head down and drives. Stepping in front of Petersen like jumping in front of a runaway truck.
Cement truck.
Lucas.
Large and heavy.
Well, the Sonics are trying to make a move now. They've cut the lead to 18 points, but that's about as close as they've been able to get.
Introducing the Arco Guarantee. Arco Simple Lendable.
Big wins are won with the heart.
Find out about sports for people with disabilities. Call your Easter Seal Society.
Big wins are always won with the heart.
Here are the top 5 scorers in the playoffs this year. Dale Ellis in Seattle averaging 30.3 points a game. He had a career-high 43 in Game 3 against Dallas. Larry Bird is second, averaging 29+. Dominique Wilkins is third. Hakeem Olajuwon averaging better than 27 a game. And rookie Chuck Person of Indiana also averaging 27 a game. But tonight, Hakeem Olajuwon has poured in 29 points, while Dale Ellis has managed only 12, but has hit just 5 of 13 shots. We have 1:14 left in the third period. The Rockets lead by 18. Robert Reid. Not a very good shot. Ellis with a rebound. Eddie Johnson driving on level. Misses the layup. And the ball is out of bounds to Houston. That hurt. That would have cut the lead down to 16 points. Bill Fitz saw his 81 Celtics rally from a 3-1 deficit in the semifinals against Philadelphia. They went on to win a world championship. This Houston team is trying to rally from a 2-0 deficit.
And lost 2 at home. So that's really...
Lost the home court advantage.
And that's really losing it when you lose 2 games.
They've got a foul.
Yes.
On Russ Chaney. First foul on Chaney. .28 seconds left in the third period. Robert Reid. No basket. Offensive foul on Reid. Here's his left arm to try to hold off the defender. 24 seconds left. The Sonics have the ball.
Now, if they can score this time and down 16, they have about 7 minutes to get in under 10 double digit, and then it's a ball game. And they've got plenty of time.
Chambers and Ellis are both threats to shoot 3-pointers. Eddie Johnson on the drive. Ellis in there battling. Eddie Johnson at the buzzer. And that brings the third quarter to an end. The Sonics are scrapping and fighting and trying to get back in this game, but they're still down 75-57 at the end of 3.
Of the NBA presents the NBA Rulebook Quiz. Charles Barkley steals the ball and attempts a breakaway dunk. The ball passes through the net and bounces off Barkley's head out of the cylinder. Is this a legal basket? The rulebook states that the ball must pass completely through the net to be a valid score. This basket is disallowed.
This is Charlie Neal in Atlanta at the Forum. Lakers' Michael Cooper with the ball goes around the Golden State defense, scores on the layup. He's fouled, completes the 3-point play. Magic and Kareem have 3 fouls each, and at the half, the Lakers lead by 7 points. Now let's go back to Seattle. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Charlie. As we look at the Sonics bench and Coach Bernie Bickerstaff, we should mention that a very special gentleman by the name of Phil Wolpert passed away a couple of days. Special in the lives of both Bernie Bickerstaff and Bill Russell. Bill, he was your collegiate coach at the University of San Francisco. He was Bernie's coach at the University of San Diego. Bernie was later his assistant coach, and Bernie says it was like a father to Bernie. He said if it wasn't for Phil Wolpert, who knows, I might be working in a steel mill somewhere instead of coaching the Sonics.
He's also Casey Jones' coach in college. He's a really, really outstanding coach. But if you just talk about his coaching when you talk about him, you do him a disservice, because he was one of the fine human beings to ever populate the planet. A man with great compassion and tremendous humanity.
And in his last days, he told Bernie Bickerstaff that Sonics victories were like therapy for him as he suffered. And he's got a foul as Maxwell and Kevin Williams want to mix it up. Williams has never been known to back down from a fight. When he was in college at St. John's, he tangled with Patrick Ewing a couple of times.
And if that's the case, when he was in Houston a couple of nights ago, maybe he should have backed away from a little altercation with the Houston police.
75-57 Rockets. We open the fourth quarter. Maxwell throws up a hook and draws the foul.
He drew the foul and then threw up the hook.
Third foul on Xavier McDaniel.
His third. Second team foul.
And Cedric Maxwell will go to the free throw line.
Shooting 2.
Maxwell was acquired from the Los Angeles Clippers in January.
He said a little different atmosphere.
I would say the Clippers, one of the worst teams in NBA history. 20-point lead for the Houston Rockets, who took control of this one about midway through the first period and really ripped it open in the second quarter. Ellis for 3. Way off the mark. I think Rodney McCray got a piece of it.
He was not wide open on that shot, although it was way out in three-point range. I think the Rockets are determined to keep a hand in his face.
Maxwell with a jump hook. Ellis with the rebound. McDaniel. And Petersen nearly put Kevin Williams into the upper deck.
The foul was on Level.
Foul, though, is called on Alan Level.
First team foul.
Although it was Petersen who leveled Williams. Hakeem Olajuwon is coming back in for the Rockets. He has 29 points tonight. 40 is his career playoff high, and he replaces Petersen, who's done a fine job off the bench.
Excellent job off the bench. He plays within himself, takes advantage of his talent, and knows, and he's learning every year. He's really improved by at least 25% as a player.
Chambers gets it to drop. That counts, and there's a foul.
And Olajuwon, I believe.
The basket is good.
Let's take another look at it.
The foul is on Olajuwon, his second, and the second team foul.
Alton Lister's back in the game for the Sonics. Olajuwon is charged with his second foul. Ralph Sampson has played very little tonight. He got into foul trouble in the first half and then picked up his fourth foul early in the second half.
Well, as the situation unfolds, they don't need him. But if this game gets close again, I'm sure you'll see a lot more of him. So it's better not to have him play until you see what happens.
Tom Chambers' best game of the playoffs so far was a 35-point game in the first game against Dallas. 77-60, the Rockets by 17. This crowd trying to get the Sonics back in the game. Sellout tonight, over 14,000 here at the Coliseum. Level is open. Chambers battling Olajuwon. Jump ball.
Jump ball.
Sonics have had several different homes in Seattle. For years they played at the Kingdome and here at the Coliseum, and as we mentioned, a couple of games at the University of Washington. Sonics with a chance to cut the lead to 15. The lead pass to Chambers. Goaltending. Score the basket for Chambers. And the Sonics are back in this game. It's 77-62 Houston. A lot of time left. 9:55 remaining. Level on the drive. Maxwell.
And you can't let that discourage you. You got to keep playing defense and getting a good shot every time down. And what they have to guard against are bad shots and turnovers.
Chambers wants the ball, gets it in good position. Olajuwon rejects it. Chambers trying it again. Again, Chambers. 9:19 remaining in the fourth quarter. The decibel level is very high here in the Seattle Coliseum. Lister out to Chambers. Maxwell rebounds in a crowd. Here comes McCray. Reid travels. Well, the Rockets turn it over. Eddie Johnson's back in the game for the Seattle SuperSonics, relieving Nate McMillan.
And Bill Fitz just aged 2 days.
Dirk Minifield is getting ready to come in for the Rockets. He hasn't played tonight. Ellis, three-pointer. Boy, he wanted that one to drop. Eight and a half remaining in the fourth period. Seattle outscored the Rockets 24-19 in the third period. Level, nice change of pace move, and he feeds McCray. Blocked by Lister, but a foul. Maurice Lucas is back in the game for the Sonics. Dirk Minifield replaces Level.
Third team foul.
Foul is on Dale Ellis. That's his third. It's been a difficult year for this young man, Rodney McCray. His 5-year-old daughter is extremely ill, and he's had to deal with that burden all year long. It's really a credit to him that he has been able to concentrate on the task at hand. He missed only one game this year, and that was because of his daughter's illness. Clement Johnson is back in for the Sonics. This game is tough enough to play without distractions.
Especially major distractions.
Lucas and Johnson.
81-62 Houston. 8:19 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Sonics lead the series 2-0, winning the first two in Houston. Looked like Ellis traveled.
And got caught again.
Dale's had a frustrating night. Really, it's the first poor game he's had in the playoffs. He was splendid against Dallas. Yeah. 15 turnovers tonight for the Sonics. Ooh, Lucas and Maxwell really mixing it up. Maurice Lucas is charged with the second foul. I think if I was going to the Ocean Club like Dale Ellis and Kevin Williams were doing, I'd take Maurice Lucas with me.
And then maybe they wouldn't have been in jail or might have been in prison.
Minifield thought about shooting a three-pointer. Olajuwon draws the crowd. They get an illegal defense call. I believe that's the first by either team tonight.
And he draws the crowd when he holds that ball. He holds it more than a second.
7:42 remaining in the fourth quarter. Rockets seem a little confused on offense right now. Reid on the drive out to Minifield. It's getting rough underneath. McDaniel just drilled Maxwell with an elbow. Well, they may call it the other way. Well, there's a lot of elbowing going on underneath. And a foul has been called on Cedric Maxwell.
Correction, first ball foul. It's the third team foul.
Kevin Williams. Olajuwon with a one-handed rebound. Does Olajuwon, Bill, function a little better when Ralph Sampson's not in the game? By that I mean, is he able to take advantage of his game a little more rather than have to share it with Ralph?
I don't think so.
Williams. Oh, what a layup by Kevin Williams.
Basket by Kevin Williams.
Because when you're out there, the better the players that are out there with you, the less attention you can get. And Ralph's man can't very well leave a guy like Sampson to go help out on Olajuwon. Although sometimes they play in proximity of each other, which would, but Ralph goes outside a lot, so that you can't say he just draws his man in there.
Eddie Johnson scores off the turnover. 83-66 Houston. The Sonics are making another move. They just refuse to wilt.
On a drive to the hoop. He is grabbed by Wood. Oh, yeah! Shot is taken by McCray. Blocked for the Lakers. The ball rolls free. Magic wants it. Magic got it. The rebound fought for, and Bird had a handle. McHale has a handle. McHale from a prone possession throws it up and in.
America's game. It's fantastic.
Tomorrow night on TBS, it'll be the Atlanta Hawks against the Detroit Pistons at 7:30 Eastern. That series is tied 1 game apiece. 7:35 Eastern tomorrow night. Sunday, the Lakers meet the Golden State Warriors. The Lakers won the first game of that series. And in the third quarter tonight, Golden State Warriors and the Lakers are tied 60 apiece. Ralph Sampson's back in the game for the Houston Rockets. He played very little tonight due to foul problems, and he has replaced Olajuwon. 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. The lob to Sampson. And he got pushed by Clement Johnson.
And hit.
The foul is on Clement Johnson. Is first.
Tom Chambers is back in the game for the Sonics.
Sampson at the line for the Rockets, shooting 2.
Ralph Sampson at the free throw line. Ralph, during the regular season, hit 62% of his free throws.
I think that Bernie Bickerstaff feels that Chambers is quicker than Sampson, plus stronger, so that they can, that he should come out ahead if they're guarding each other.
Sampson missed 39 games this year. In his first 3 years in the league, he'd missed a total of 3. Been very durable, but he got hurt this year. Ankle sprains and knee surgery. 84-66 Houston, 5:50 remaining. Chambers comes up short. What has been the difference in this game so far, Bill?
Well, the Houston defense. Oh,
Lucas delivers a message to Minifield.
They've made the SuperSonics shoot the outside shot mostly, and they've been out there with them. They've spread their defense inside the three-point line. Now, a lot of teams would play defense inside the paint, but they've played defense all the way out to the three-point line. And so they have not been many easy shots. Plus the fact that Seattle early in the game made some bad choices in shots.
Danny Young is in the game now at guard for the Sonics as Dirk Minifield converts the first free throw. Minifield, whose cousin Frank, is an outstanding defensive back with the Cleveland Browns. Dirk played at Kentucky and was acquired from the Cavaliers in December.
And I think that period where Houston used a big lineup is really been the only time when they've really stormed away from the Sonics. Other than that, they've been playing pretty much even.
That big lineup really seemed to give the Sonics problems. They went with McCray and Reid in the backcourt and 3 big guys up front. I mentioned the Sonics' inability to hit three-pointers tonight. They're 1 for 6 three-pointers. Lucas off the head fake. Sampson yanks it down.
The big guys make you miss those kind of shots.
Just over 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Minifield called for charging.
And Bill Finch said, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? We should take as many seconds as we can to take the shot. Why run down and shoot in 6 seconds? That's helping the other team out.
Ellis still looking for three-pointers. Danny Young takes one, and this is everything.
As they continue to make bad choices, as I said earlier, in shots.
They're 1 for 7 on three-pointers tonight. Less than 5 minutes remaining. McCray on the drive over 2 Sonics. Maxwell. Maxwell still one of the best garbage men in the NBA. Nate McMillan, or Kevin Williams scores. He says, what about a foul? He has 8 points tonight, and it's 86-68 Rockets. We wind this one down to the final 4.5 minutes. Sampson posting up on Chambers, and Williams called for the reach-in foul. Alton Lister and Xavier McDaniel are back in for the Sonics.
I think the Sonics are, the organization and the crowd are very disappointed. I think they expected to. But playoffs, you don't just run over a team. The teams that got this far, especially after the first teams are eliminated, they're all good teams. And you win championships, and it's hard, you know, I remember that when I was a rookie, we won our first championship with the Celtics. We won the first and the 7th game in double overtime. And so it's not easy. You can't just go out and say, well, we're better and we're going to beat them 4 straight. Because that's what happens when a team wins 2 straight. Everybody's talking about sweep. And that's very unlikely when you reach this level.
Well, Bernie Bickerstaff, that's what he stressed to his team. Don't look past this game. Focus on tonight. Don't worry about what's ahead. Don't even think about it. You got to win them one at a time. Chambers is double teamed. Kevin Williams. He has 10 points off the bench tonight. 88-70 Houston. Under 4 minutes remaining. Some strange things have been known to happen in the playoffs. I remember in 1984, the year after the 76ers won the playoffs, they dropped their first 2 games at home to the New Jersey Nets. Then went into New Jersey and won 2 to even the series 2 games apiece. The series shifted back to Philadelphia, and the Nets won Game 5 in a best-of-5 series. So you never know what's going to happen in a playoff series.
Now, this is a good example of job definition. Now, Ralph Sampson is supposed to be out there playing, but he stops to pick up a paper airplane, and like it's a garbage man, and Williams blows right by him. He's too high-paid a guy to be in the janitor's union.
Or an air traffic controller. 3:44 remaining in this game. The Rockets lead by 18 points. They blew this one open in the second quarter when they outscored Sonics 27-13. Tom Chambers on a turnaround jumper. And Williams steals it from Ralph Sampson.
A little bit of traveling music here.
Sonics are looking for 3-point opportunities.
And more traveling.
Chambers really working hard to get that shot off.
He went from the past 3-point line to the free throw line without dribbling.
Houston improving their field goal percentage tonight, and the Seattle SuperSonics saw theirs drop, shooting 44% so far.
Chambers at the line for Seattle, shooting 2.
Foul is on Cedric Maxwell. That's his 5th.
And the Sonics have shot a lot of bricks at the foul line tonight. What's their percentage at the free throw line? Let's see.
Russ Chaney is back in the game for the Sonics. Chambers with 24 points tonight. 88-71 Houston. And a foul is called on Maxwell. Questionable call. And he's really upset because he's fouled out.
The foul is on Maxwell. His 6th personal foul.
Now let's see you take a look.
I don't think there was anything to call there.
Not an offensive foul.
Replaces Maxwell for the Rockets.
So Maxwell fouls out. He leaves with 6 points. I mentioned the poor free throw shooting by the Sonics tonight. They're 6 for 13 from the floor. First of all, getting to the line only 13 times is a bad sign.
Definitely, you got to get to the line more. That means that's because we used to make him shoot the outside shots and then didn't let him have that.
Russ Chaney misses a 3-pointer. 3 minutes left in the game. Level with a lead pass to Sampson. It's off Chambers' foot. McDaniel saves it. Sampson nearly tipped it in. Ralph clears it out to Level with 2:40 remaining. Midfield, McCray, and a foul on either Ellis or Kevin Williams. On Williams. That's his 4th. Well, Dale Ellis came back to reality tonight after just going wild in previous playoff action. First, having a great series against Dallas and having a big hand in eliminating his former team, then getting off to a great start with 2 30-point efforts, 34 and 30 in the first 2 games against Houston.
I think the whole Seattle team had off-night shooting. If they got the team was down to 44%, they didn't execute very well.
Rodney McCray, a kind of a unsung member of this Houston team. He hears so much about the Twin Towers, but in his own quiet way, he's a big contributor.
He's very, very important to that team because we've started to call him a point forward, but he does an excellent job of bringing the ball up under pressure. Has great shot selection. Does a good job defensively, and a good job on the boards.
Ellis having a tough night. And we've got a foul. The Houston Rockets lead by 19 points with 2:27 left. Bill Fitch, who began his NBA coaching career, spent 9 years in Cleveland, where he was known for more for his funny lines than for victories. Although
when you're not winning
a pretty good team,
you better come up with a sense of humor.
Right. You better have some one-liners or a pretty good writer. And he went to the Celtics when he won a world championship in '81.
And got back in the championship series last year.
90-72 Houston, 2:25 left. Olajuwon's back in there. He has 31 points. 20-point lead for the Rockets. Three-pointer by McDaniel rims out. Sampson fires a strike to Minifield. Great pass.
When Sampson was at the University of Virginia, they on the weightlifting,
SuperSonics.
he was the strongest athlete on the campus, including all the football teams.
So we have 2:05 remaining in the fourth quarter here in Seattle, and there's our score with the Houston Rockets leading 94-72. What will the Sonics, Bill, have to do to regroup for the next game of this series?
Well, this game, first of all, forget this game. The only thing you want to remember is what they did to beat you, and get yourself ready to deal with that and go back to playing the way you played in the previous two games.
All right, Bill, let's go now to Charlie Neal in Atlanta.
Charlie Neal and John McCloud here. And John, teams always talk about the home court advantage. For some of the teams during the playoffs, it's been great. For others, it's been a disappointment.
You know, Charlie, I think that statement, home court, is overplayed a little bit. At this time of the year, what you need to do, whether you're at home or on the road or on a neutral floor, is to be able to execute in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game, and that's the key. Okay, John and I will be here at halftime tomorrow as our playoff coverage continues. We'll be taking you to Detroit. It'll be Game 3 of that series between Atlanta and Detroit, starting at 7:35. Then on Sunday, our halftime coverage goes on the road. I'll be in Oakland. It'll be Game 4 of the Lakers Golden State series. Now let's go back to Seattle to Mel and Bill.
There have been a lot of reasons tonight why the Seattle SuperSonics won't win this game. First of all, you have to give a lot of credit to the Houston Rockets, and particularly their defense. But in the first 2 games of this series, the Sonics hit 5 of 12 3-point attempts. Tonight, they've gone 1 for 10.
But they didn't give up on them.
Keep firing them till they fall. Danny Young is in the game. Another substitution is Curtis Kitchen, a rookie from South Florida, checks in.
Curtis Kitchen and Danny Young.
Kitchen played most of the year in the Continental League. Well, Bernie Bickerstaff is letting some of his subs play, as this one seems to have been decided long ago. 2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes.
This is when a guy comes out of the game and goes by the coach, and the coach says, don't worry, we'll get him next time.
Danny Young scores on a running back shot. He has 4 points, and it's 94-74 Houston. Sampson and Olajuwon have not played that often together tonight. They started together and played well in the first quarter, but after Ralph got into foul trouble, he went to the bench. They're in there together now. Olajuwon finishing off a great night with 33 points. And Cheney goes down. Got a foul. Dave Feidel checks in for the Houston Rockets.
His third.
Foul was on Dirk Minifield. Nate McMillan's back in the game for the Sonics. And Dale Ellis leaves. It's been a struggle for him tonight, and he leaves with only 12 points. Well below his playoff average of 30-plus.
And the Sonics continue their awful free throw shooting.
Cheney makes 1 out of 2. The Rockets are 7 for 15 from the line tonight. 21-point lead for Houston, 1:26 left. The Rockets spread it out and run some time off the clock. Sampson against the rookie Kitchen. Minifield scores on the follow. And a blocking foul is called on Danny Young. Or Minifield.
His third.
Steve Harris and Buck
Johnson in for the Rockets.
Johnson.
Buck Johnson, the Rockets' first-round pick from Alabama, who really didn't play much this year.
Is that why he's wearing number 1? Because he's number 1 pick?
You know it's not his salary.
Or he's not number 1 in playing time.
There he is. Buck Johnson, who was the 20th pick overall in the draft. He had his career high against Seattle this year, 12 points. And Minifield is fouled.
There were some people that thought that when the Rockets got around their pick that they should have gone for a guard. But Bill Fitch says he looked at the guards that were out there, and he didn't see any of them better than the ones that he had. So he's going to go for the best athlete.
We said earlier they drafted Connor Henry out of the University of California at Santa Barbara. They kept him in place of Alan Level and released Level. Henry wound up with the Boston Celtics, but they thought he was a point guard at first. It proved to be that he was not, but he may be a pretty good off guard. He's an outstanding shooter. Sampson leaves the game. Petersen is back in. 100-77, Houston.
1 minute.
Russ Chaney with a three-pointer.
And he gets the bounce.
3 points.
The former Philadelphia 76ers scores to cut the lead to 20. Less than a minute remaining. Steve Harris with a left hand. Curtis Kitchen clears it out to Danny Young. Chaney for 3. McMillan on the follow. 100-82 Houston, but only 34 seconds remain. Buck Johnson pushes it up. Sonics are still scrapping, even though this one is over. Petersen hammers.
At this point in the game, the referees usually say no blood, no foul.
The Lakers lead the Golden State Warriors 85-78 in the fourth quarter.
That's a low-scoring game for the Lakers. They almost got that many points in the third quarter the other night.
That's right.
Petersen's the foul line's got 10 points and 8 rebounds already. And 1 brick.
He was the only Rocket to play in all 82 games this year. Another in a long line of bangers out of Minnesota. Jim Brewer, Michael Thompson, Kevin McHale, Randy Brewer all preceded him with the Golden Gophers. And Bill Fitch was once the head coach in Minnesota for a couple of years. Kevin Williams scores. 100-84. Houston, 10 seconds left. Don't get in Dave Feidel's way.
Now, is that because he's really big, or he's not very good at changing direction?
Both. It's like following a driver who's going about 70 and you're right behind him, but you don't know. You know he's going to turn, but you still know which way he's going. Dave Feidel from Texas El Paso. He was that school's second leading scorer in their history. Taddy Archibald was the all-time leading scorer. 102-84, Houston. Kevin Williams at the buzzer. So after dropping the first 2 games at the Summit in Houston, Bill Fitz's team was able to rally tonight here in Seattle. Final score, the Houston Rockets 102, the Sonics 84, and we'll be right back.